Hello, my name is Mark Johansson, and I'm here to give you a brief demonstration on the capabilities of the riteTIMELaborViewer. This is a reporting tool that's built to work with the riteTIME system. And as we started it up here, you can see on the main screen is showing us a couple of jobs that are running right now in the work center that we have selected. And you can change this to another work center if you like. And it shows the jobs at that work center. If you pick a work center with nothing running, then it'll simply tell you that there's nothing running at that work center. So it's a tool that at a glance tells you what's running at a given work center, and the intent is that this could be running at a terminal on the shop floor, and anybody could walk by and see what's running in that area, although it can be run from anywhere. So let me show you a little bit about the tool. We have some options here, and some of the options are for changing the database, change the logo, so you can put your own company's logo here rather than the riteTIME logo. And you can change the font. For instance, if you are running this at a standalone station out on the shop floor and this is the only thing on the screen, then perhaps you want to increase the font size and make it a little bit bigger. And you can even maximize the form, of course, if that's the intent. Another option over here is what we want to do when we go over to riteTIME. It's intended that this is works well with riteTIME, and so we have the option of either closing the labor viewer or minimizing the labor viewer when we switch to riteTIME. So what that means is when you click on this riteTIME button over here and it brings up riteTIME, what happened to the labor viewer? Well, with our options it was just set to minimize, so we can bring it back at any time. You can also have it set to close, and the intent there is if you switch to riteTIME, then it would close the labor viewer and you do what you need to do in riteTIME and then walk away. And then the screensaver would bring back the labor viewer after just a minute or two. So you'd always have the labor viewer up and running, so anybody at a glance can see what's happening in that area. So that's sort of the main functionality here. One other thing I can point out is that in the options, riteTIME is a very configurable system, and you can configure the prompts and the information that's gathered to meet your needs, and so the information that's needed by riteTIME can be configured here, and this uses your data. So the names here, these are not fixed. These are being pulled from the riteTIME system as the names that you've given your area. So for instance, if you're calling this field manufacturing order or production order instead of job, then that's the data that would show up here. So basically what this screen is saying is let's map your data that you've got configured in your system over so that the reporting in this system makes sense. So it's built to be configured to work with your system. So let's take a look at some of the reports. If we look at our standard reports, you can see we've got a number of reports. If I look at the closed job report, I guess, we can see there's a bunch of data here for the closed jobs. And if I look at the open jobs report, then I can see all the open jobs right now. So I can see there's 4 as opposed to the screen behind, which just shows the open jobs per work center. This is all open jobs that are running right now. And each of these reports, if you want to resize it a little bit, it'll remember what you've done with it. So you can see the next time we open it, it's kept the sizing there. One of the other things that you can do, I'm not going to go into all these reports because we have a lot of them, but if we look at the closed jobs report, you can see that the second field is called field status ID. Let's just say that we want to call that punch in. And in other words, we want to modify this report, and I'm going to show you how we give you the capability to do that. If I go to that same report now and hold the shift key down when I click on it, it takes us to that report. And so this is very quick and easy. You can see that it exposes the entire SQL command for generating that report, so you can customize it to connect to other systems or to do whatever you like. In our case, we're just going to change this. This is the one we're going to change. We're just going to change one field name is all we're going to do. Punch in, I don't know, type. How about that? So I'm just going to make a change and then save it and then pop back over to here and run that report again. And now we've got our changes over here in the report. So you can see these are fully customizable. And it's intent that this be deployed with a number of standard reports, but those standard reports are customizable either for connecting up to additional data in your system or for doing simple things just like adding, removing fields, or renaming fields. And so we've got a number of different reports in here, as well as detailed reports based on your data. And I'm not going to go into all these reports, but what I will tell you is that all these come as standard reports, and they're all configurable, just like I showed you with the closed jobs report, to meet the needs of your system. So these last three, as you notice, this is pulling actual data out of the system and sort of building reports on the fly based on the actual data in your system right now. So lastly, we have another area called custom reports. So in addition to being able to modify the standard reports, we have the ability to make your own custom reports. And we can, if I want to, you can see I've already got one here called Report 12, and I'm going to go ahead and delete that one. Okay. And now I'm going to add another custom report. I'm going to call this all jobs in ERP. And let's just say that I'm building a report that's going to get all the jobs out of the ERP, and I know what I want it to look like. And let's say that it's going to look like this here. This is going into my SysPro database, because let's just say that that's my ERP. And I'm going to save this file out there, so when I look, I can now see all jobs in ERP is out here. And if I select that, the report's been created and it's now in the menu. So I can select all jobs in ERP, and it pulls out what we just did there. And that's fully customizable as well through the same mechanism. If I shift-click on there, it takes me to my SQL definition that I just created, and I can modify this however I like. One of the other features I wanted to show you is just in all these reports, these are live reports. And so if you're expecting to see, a crystal report with a really fancy title and a bunch of lines and indentations and all that, like a manager's report, that's not the intent. The intent is that these report on the data, and the focus is on the data, but also these are live reports. So in other words, you can do stuff with these reports that you can't necessarily do with a static report. For instance, if I show the group by header, I can grab a column like job and drag it up here and let go, and now everything's grouped by job. And I can do that with any of the columns. And in fact, I can add as many as I like. If I want to then group by warehouse and then group by line, I can add as many levels as I want, and it will continue to do this grouping how I'm doing it here. So you can see there's lots of ways that you can organize your data. You can also, and to get rid of these, I just drag it to anywhere but this area here, and then the grouping goes away. And then I can take away the box even if I want to. I can also sort by just clicking on the header, and it sorts by these different columns. I can also filter out columns or filter in columns based on, I can look for particular values in the column. So this is a live report that's very customizable, very editable, so that you can get at the data you need. There's also search and replace tools as well. And if you look here, you can also export to Excel. We can export to an XML file. There's lots of capabilities within the reports. So when you see these reports here, they may not be the prettiest managerial reports around, but they are live reports, and they are very flexible. So the intent is hopefully they can give you the flexibility you need in order to get your data and answer your questions quickly. That's it. That's all I have to show. So this is the riteTIMELaborViewer, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you.